on, we're going to go straight to PGL with Shucks, Nisqy, and Grabbz. Take it away.
Oh, Nisqy. Nisqy Baba.
Yes, Nisqy and Grabbz. Thank you so much, Laure. Welcome everyone to the LEC post-game lobby. I'm super excited, even though it is not such a joyous occasion for Grabbz, because BDS was not able to win their last game, but...
I'm used to it by now.
Oh, we owed you a PGL, and I'm really happy, though, that you can be here to just kind of talk about the season so far. But maybe let's start with the game. What was it that went wrong?
Disrespecting. I think we just didn't know what's going on in the game as a team. Like the one with Dive Mati, where Tom Kent is sitting in the bush, and we're not aware of them then going into the river afterwards. Adam deciding he wants to fight without having information. It's just, I don't know. It's hard for a team to keep like the hunger up if you're out of playoffs.
Yeah.
So we said before, just have fun. So I think they were lacking the right discipline, I guess, for today.
Was it fun, though?
Not for me. I hope they at least have giggles. I'll go ask them later.
Yeah. What do you think about Renata?
I mean, I think it's hard to judge from this game because I think we gave her everything she wants.
Yeah.
I think she can be really good in a R5 spot, like as a counter pick, especially against a team that wants to go into you, like Ari, Itox, so like it's a good pick here. I think we're gonna see her more often, but just not blind.
You had any questions for Grabbz, Nisqy?
Not necessarily.
Okay, smile. Do you have any observations about the game? It's been a long day. We've got 2 more,
A great
dude.
addition to the desk here.
Yeah, we've got 2 more days.
I mean, I don't know if Fnatic just picked it to pick it, like the Renata, or if they actually think it's good. Because maybe they're just picking it to make other teams think that they play it, for example.
Yeah. Is that a strategy that Yamato likes to
if
apply?
they're already like locked top 4, I think that's one of the things you would do.
Yeah.
And then also like the game did not really matter as well because BDS is out. So yeah, hopefully we see more Renata. I think Champion is fun and it can turn games around. So
Yeah, and it also got Hylissang another Kia player of the game. 57% of the votes. I think he can do anything right now, Hilly, and still get the player of the game. There's a big discussion, Grabbz, about if Hilly deserves to be MVP of the regular season. What's your take on it?
Oh, for sure. Especially now that he can also play apparently range champions.
Apparently.
Beforehand, you were like really happy when you played Lulu or something. I think now even that doesn't help you. So he's just a very complete player. I don't even think he's playing on his peak performance right now. So he will just get better for playoffs.
I agree.
Wow. That is super crazy to think about because he's already so oppressive, right?
I think he will be so scary when playoffs will arrive, and
I agree, yeah.
I don't think people are ready for it yet.
Oh, so that's actually very exciting, thinking about the possibilities. But let's talk a bit about BDS. Grabbz, for you, huge shift in your career going to this project, which is so different from the project you worked on with G2 for so long as well. How do you look back generally on the first season?
If you would have asked me after week 6, the answer would be different. I think after week 6, I was pretty satisfied because we were on a 5-game losing streak, but watching these games, every single one we could have won.
Yeah.
Like I think back of the Mad Lions game where we outraged them and we suddenly have to engage. We lost 2 games with Elder with Dragon Soul, which also can be wins, of course. The last 2 weeks were really, how is it in English?
Difficult?
Deflating,
Challenging?
I guess.
Yeah.
Not because of the games. Like I don't care as much on stage, but I think the way my players reacted to being out of playoffs was something that I had to like address with Duffman a lot in scrims. I think we wasted 2 weeks of time, and I think you can't afford this as a young team. I say it not publicly because I was way harsher to them anyways. Like they know there's no secret there. So I really hope that they understand now what is needed as a pro player or like an LEC player to actually improve. Because I think, yeah, we just didn't do ourselves favors the last 2 weeks.
How challenging or how different was it for you and Duffman to deal with players that are at the start of their journey and have to learn some of these things, like how to deal with defeat, how to deal with being knocked out of the LEC playoffs, for instance, even though, of course, some of them, of course, have played in the ERLs before, in comparison to kind of, I don't want to say the egos, but the like very established players you played with before?
The only hard thing I would say was that our initial expectations still were too high in a way. Of course, we expected to be like known or knowledge. I think especially against Vitality and Rogue in Week 2, you could see that the team was just not ready to play on LEC level, and we had to like dial back a bit, go back to the basics. I think afterwards, the early games especially stabilized quite a bit. Then just working step by step. But basically, it just helps them to say we both can laugh about every situation and say we wouldn't have before. Like, if they talk about bad scrim days, I can tell them about G2 against Damwon when we lost every game in 2 minutes, basically. So everything they think is bad, I've been there. So I think that helps a lot.
Okay. Nisqy, as a player yourself, what can you say
Ex-player?
about... What? He's not an ex-player, bro.
Okay, Grabbz.
Oh my God.
I mean, at least I'm in playoffs, so
Yeah.
you know.
Nisqy, when it comes to newer players, and not to call out anyone in specific, but it does feel like there's a lot of lessons that you can literally only learn by going through them, right? Do you find that in your younger years compared to now, like dealing with feedback and learning from your mistakes and being open to criticism is one of the biggest things to learn?
I think like dealing with losses, for example, dealing with toxicity, because community is nice sometimes, but also sometimes not so nice.
No, you can say it's there
and
sometimes.
then there's also like pressure. There's playing on stage. I don't know, and then you have to focus on like in-game stuff. You have to focus on like communication. So there's so much stuff that you need to focus on. But I feel like it's only by losing and by realizing that you need to learn way more that you actually improve. So yeah.
Yeah, I just think like taking and giving feedback is one of the hardest things in any team environment, but especially when the pressure is involved, right, Grabbz?
Oh yeah, exactly. We just try to make sure they have our trust. They know that whatever Reddit says or Twitter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't impact that on me and our opinion on them. As long as they put in the daily work. This is something I mentioned the last 2 weeks I didn't see. We're going to have some exciting plans for the off-season to like actually give them the ability to actually practice as well.
Okay.
We can share more if it's actually locked down. But
All right.
yeah, just making sure again they have an environment where they know that the career is not decided by one split, by one game. Just by daily work, I think helps there a lot. I'm someone who's really harsh. Duffman is a bit nicer than me, so we also have this good cop, bad cop mentality. So I think we have there a good way to help them. But ultimately, I think what Nisqy can also like confirm as a once rookie and then having like 4 different teams, I think, in the time, is that everybody says they want to win, but just realizing what steps you have to take to actually become better and win is something everybody has to learn. And especially these young 4 players I have. Still didn't get the lesson quite yet, I think, but step by step we got there.
Yeah, but it's normal. Everyone learns at their own pace. The thing is, sometimes you just have to learn it quicker, you know? Grabbz, maybe a final question on BDS is about you personally, because not just for the team that you're working with, but also in your career, this is just a completely different thing. You're used to winning everything all the time, basically, right? Except for Worlds.
Besides last year as well.
That's fine.
Except for last year.
But yeah, is that some kind of a shift for you? Like a completely different kind of mountain to climb?
Not really, because I can basically pick and choose what fulfills me in life. So basically, I just know with this team, I'm not coming here to be first place and win every split, but it's more about seeing the daily improvements, which until week 6, I was really happy, actually. I could see every day, every week that the players learned. So that's where I get my satisfaction from. So ultimately, it doesn't really matter. I just shift my perspective, basically.
Okay. Another thing I want to ask you is some of your tweets. I mean, your Twitter has been so entertaining. I actually was looking some up, but I didn't want to put them or ask production to put them on a graphic because I mean, just in replies to Carlos and a reply to Excel when they tweeted about your drafts. What's going on? Why are you unleashed on Twitter, dude?
Okay, with Carlos, it's just fun banter because, I mean, the things we say offside Twitter are way more offensive to each other than this, so this is just fun. For Excel, I mean, if that orc comes at me, never achieved anything, and then tries to, like, if you're Fnatic or G2 now or something, it's fun, you know? Like, it's banter between winning teams, then Excel comes around the corner. And the thing is, like, that day, I saw 12, they tried it twice already, that means they deleted the tweet twice. And then at 3 p.m., they did the 3rd tweet, so I was like, if this is what you come up with after 3 times, please, man, like, don't come at me with this, you know? So I just had to fire back a bit, but also all in good fun.
Yeah. I love how you're like, blah, 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 org, and this, but it's all in good fun.
Yeah.
It's your prerogative.
But I mean, that won't change, right? Ultimately, it's also an entertainment business.
Yeah.
The fans want to see that. And I'm not going to change suddenly because we're 412 or something. Like, I'm me on Twitter. I hope nobody takes it too serious, especially the banter part, so it's just fun.
Yeah, I like it also that even after the BDS losses or whatnot, you always like gave like a clear tweet and you're like, hey, this is what it is and you can flame me if you want, but this is just what it is. I appreciate that a lot. Speaking of Excel though, and the teams try to make it into playoffs, let's take a look at the standings because they haven't made it yet, Nisqy. So we came into the day, Vitality needed to win, Excel needed to win, it did not happen. Mad won, SK won. What's going on for the people who missed it?
I don't know actually. I mean, I was really expecting Rogue to beat SK.
Yeah.
And then I actually thought Extra Draft was better than G2's as well. So I'm not sure. Maybe like as I said like earlier, like maybe the pressure is like getting onto them. But I really hope XL can get a win so that they can get their first ever playoffs.
Do you think they'll make it, Grabbz?
I think this is actually the hardest scenario as a player to have, because if you think all I need is one win, every game is a bit less serious because like I have 3 chances. No, I know how players work, so
yeah.
I think there's the lack of little like perspective. But I just can't see Matt in this game playoffs over the other 2 teams. Even though I believe that the field in Europe this year, as much as I can say I'm a BDS coach, right, looks pretty weak. But they have like 2 weeks, I think, or 3 weeks to clean up their play. So maybe going to playoffs, suddenly the teams will shift in strength, and then we have suddenly new exciting playoffs. So.
Yeah, I do think, unfortunately, that the consensus is that like if SK, Mad, or XL make it into the playoffs, we're not expecting too much from them out of the best of 5, sadly. How do you feel about Vitality? Because they still look like they will make it, and that's been a point of contention, you know, the super team. What's your opinion?
This team is so hard to read. Even today's game, if they take it seriously, they want to win, right? But you cannot tell me that your top side 3v4, and the best idea is to engage into Alistair Poppy. Like they're obviously saying, because we're better players, we can win these scenarios. So I think as soon as they realize we might not be that strong or we have to just play cleaner, I think they're going to be better. Whereas I think like teams like Misfits, who are like very... I mean, of course people will say VTO, right? But even the way he gets his leads is nothing where I feel like Misfits does the play, but more the enemy teams run into them and die. And then they're really good playing it out, right? But I think if this doesn't happen, they're going to have a hard time in best of 5s, I think.
Okay, so Misfits Vitality may be a hard time. We had a discussion today about Rogue and Fnatic. I'm going to paraphrase what Nisqy said at the beginning of the day. He said, like, regular season Rogue is super impressive, but I don't have the faith still in them for best of 5s. More faith in Fnatic. Yamato said, if we don't win the season, this is an absolute embarrassment. How do you feel about those 2 teams?
I agree with him in the sense that they are the favorites. I wouldn't say it's an embarrassment, because it's still a new team as well.
Yeah.
Changed a lot of players. I think like actually the dark horse for me is G2. I think they're very flippy in how they get the leads, but if they're in a winning position, normally they're really good in playing it out. You could talk about the Misfits game, right? But it was supposed to be an 80 minute
We don't
stomp.
mention it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It is a win. Like you cannot tell me this is something in best of 5s they wouldn't clean
I think
play
Mrs.
out.
Play did really good. That's why they won. Not.
Exactly, yeah. So I think G2, if they can get the leads more consistently, they're going to be really, really good. At least especially if Caps and Jankos have the lead, they're really good at moving mid-game. And I think then Tagamas and Flag can just follow a bit. BB can play Aksha and do his own style. So that will work. So I think Fnatic should be the favorites, and I think G2 could be the most surprising team on playoffs.
Oh, Nisqy, do you agree? Dark horse maybe, G2?
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, I think if Caps plays the same right now than like during playoffs, I think they can for sure be in the finals. I don't think they'll beat Fnatic still, but for me it's between Rogue, Fnatic and G2, and I can see a Fnatic G2 final for sure, especially because I don't think Rogue will be that strong during playoffs.
Very interesting how like the tables turn and everything, but it's still a Rogue Fnatic G2 kind of toss-up. I do hope that some of the other teams can throw a wrench in the works, but tomorrow's schedule is going to start with XL. I remixed them. XL versus SK. So this is an absolutely huge game in the race for playoffs after today's results. Grabbz, if XL win, they're in. If they don't win, they're not in. And SK can actually go 3-0 this week, and then I don't know, because I still don't think it's up to themselves, but it would be crazy. So do you think SK can win the game versus XL? Did you see them beat Rogue today, or?
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
and,
what do you think?
Win a best of 1 scenario, everybody can beat everyone in a best of 1, besides Astralis and us probably. But besides that, everybody can win. I still think though like SK has very specific things in draft they look for, and XL can choose to target that if they really want to. I think they still have individually better players. So I would still give it like a 70-30 for XL. But maybe the pressure gets to them, and then the last day they have to play Fnatic, and then they're really starting to sweat.
Oof, it's going to be spicy. Also, the end of the day is going to be really cool. We have Misfits, Fnatic. We have Vitality versus G2. We also have Rogue right before that versus BDS. Are you going to go out with a bang, or what do you think versus Rogue?
We're going to try. I mean, I told our players today, have fun, and this is what happens. So maybe dial it back a bit on the fun.
To not have fun, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe not Tom Kench anymore, and then we'll see.
What do you think about the Malran case for Rogue? The fact that he sometimes does plays that actually shouldn't work, but they seem to work for Rogue.
I agree in the sense that the plays he makes, if they work, are really good, but there's a higher chance that he falls back. They're very unnecessary in a way, I think, because Rogue is really good at playing on tempo and understanding the map. So if he just follows the setup, I think it's way better for them. But let's just say in the best of 5, as I said, like I think G2 and Fnatic are better, that he can find angles with his gang strat and suddenly flip a game, flip priority if he can find it. So I think it's a good tool to have. I just think he overuses it.
Okay, I see. That's an interesting way to look at it. Well, thank you so much, Grabbz. That was awesome. It was lovely seeing you with BDS this season so far, and obviously looking forward to the future.
Thank you.
And I'm also going to take a selfie with you guys. Have some conversation. Talk about something, Austin.
What's up, Grabbz?
What's up? How do you think about, what do you think about Ari?
Ari is actually surprisingly OP. I feel like maybe, I don't know, everyone seems to be first picking it or like first rotationing it. So maybe also G2 didn't first pick TF today. I was sad, I wanted to see Caps TF, but
I still think it's broken.
it's still OP. People realize it during playoffs.
All right, nice. Very well done. You're a pro. All right, let's go. Here we go. Awesome. Thank you so much, Grabbz. Thank you, Nisqy. We'll see you tomorrow. That's all from us here tonight. We'll be back tomorrow as the race for playoffs and top 2 continues. Have a great night and see you then. Bye-bye.